Here's who stood out on day 4 of 49ers training camp 2023. Keep in mind, the practice was short, the players didn't wear pads, and the first day in pads will be tomorrow. Mañana. Demain. The good. Wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. I know, what else is new? He's the best player on the offense every day and the only star on the offense who never takes a day off or a rep off. Ayuk is a leader and a cheat code, which means he sets the standard and he's always open. Today, he caught 5 passes and scored 3 touchdowns. Made it look easy. Barely broke a sweat. Through 4 days of camp, Ayuk has 12 catches, while Deebo Samuel has 4 and George Kittle has 1. I've covered some great 49ers wide receivers in their prime. Anquan Bolden, Michael Crabtree, Deebo Samuel, to name a few. Right now, Ayuk is the best 49ers wide receiver I've ever seen in person on the practice field. He's unstoppable. Defensive end Drake Jackson. He ran stride for stride with running back Elijah Mitchell and broke up a nice downfield pass from Trey Lance during that play. Jackson has taken most of the first-string reps at defensive end this offseason and has played well. He looks much better than he did last year. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens. He sacked Sam Darnold on Darnold's first drop back of practice. Givens is one of many backup interior defensive linemen competing with Javon Kinlaw for a spot on the 53-man roster. Kinlaw is no lock to make it. Linebacker D. Winters. He stopped Kalen Laburn for a loss of 3 during a run to the offense's left. After the play, Dre Greenlaw ran on the field to praise Winters for his tackle. Defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. He's different than his predecessors, DeMeco Ryans and Robert Saleh. Those two jumped around and celebrated with their players during practices and games. Wilks doesn't celebrate much. He stands and watches. Between plays, he walks into the huddle to call the play. When a player makes a mistake, Wilks stands and stares at that player for a good 10 seconds, maybe making mental notes. And then when the period ends, Wilks walks over to the player who made the mistake and calmly coaches him, talks to him, shows him what to do. Wilks did this today with Ambry Thomas and Diamador Lenore. You can tell Wilks is a real teacher who cares deeply about his players. The not so good. Head coach Kyle Shanahan. He never directly coaches anyone. He just calls plays. He talks to Deebo Samuel a lot, but not to coach him. They seem like friends. They have long conversations when other players are warming up, and they sometimes talk between plays. Shanahan never seems to talk to his quarterbacks, though. After every play, good or bad, he immediately looks down at his play sheet and decides what to call next, unless Deebo says something to him. Shanahan gives no feedback, no eye contact, just moves on to the next play, as if the individual players don't matter. When Jim Harbaugh was the coach, he personally worked with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, but that's because Harbaugh was a quarterback and a coach. Shanahan by nature is a wide receiver and a play caller. Big difference. Right tackle Colton McKivitz. He committed a false start on the first play from scrimmage just to let everyone know who the weakest link on the offense truly is. Running back Christian McCaffrey. He sat out his second practice of training camp, which is strange because he didn't miss any practices in OTAs or minicamp. Now, he seems to sit out whenever Brock Purdy is out and Trey Lance is the starter. So far in camp, Lance and McCaffrey have not been on the field together at the same time. That needs to change. Running back Jordan Mason. He fumbled for the second time in 4 practices, and the pads haven't even gone on yet. Mason is an incredibly talented runner, but that won't matter if he can't hold on to the football. Cornerback Travarius Ward. He missed his 3rd practice in a row with a groin injury.